Hey, I just want to start the video with this. I got very limited playtime with Noli. Sure, I got into level 22, but don't trust all of my opinions. Take it all with a grain of salt. Because we can't actively play Noli a ton, it's hard to get very good opinions, so again, take everything I say in this video with a grain of salt. About Noli, at least. And also, everything about him is subject to change, because public beta test. Anyways, enjoy the App Fest. Noli when? Noli now! Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Cherry Juice, and the long-awaited Noli update in Forsaken is still not out. However, the public test beta, or PTB for short, came and let us common folk try Noli for ourselves. This PTB, much like a Dead by Daylight PTB, let a majority of the player base of Forsaken test the new killer, Noli, and the two new maps coming with him, Builder Brothers Pizza and Tempest. By the way, this is just a first impressions video, not like a grand review of the PTB, so expect my thoughts to be unorganized and underbaked as all hell. Additionally, all of my playtimes from the first 3 hours of the PTB. In the last 4 hours, the map was opened up and the hitboxes were adjusted. I didn't get to try these. I'm gonna blue ball all of you by talking about the maps first instead of Noli. During this PTB, or when I played, the only playable maps were Builder Brothers Pizza and Tempest. Starting with Builder Brothers, this map's pretty fun. It's based off work at a pizza place and it does a good job including all the aspects of WAP. The pizzeria, the dump, the warehouse, and even a player house are all present. This map has clearly been devastated by a certain cool kid with tons of lore to boot. Drawings are present all across the map, pickup trucks are vandalized to advertise Team Cool Kid. Hell, even that supply truck in the sky. How'd it get there? There's clearly a lot of Cool Kid and 007 and 7 lore baked into this map that I won't even try to figure out. I really like the burned down and general chaotic vibe this map gives. The orange, fire-tinted lighting and Spectre-ass skybox really added a map. As for gameplay, it's got a lot of fun looping and juking spots, but not nearly powerful enough to really feel dominant. Except for maybe one. We'll get there in a moment. This map is very open, but has a lot of well-placed obstacles and walls for juking. This map also feels like it would be good for every killer, except maybe John Doe, but I think there's enough walls and tight doorways for him to block survivors off. This actually segues into my complaints about this map. I only have 3, thankfully. 1. Taffy is buggy as fuck on this map. I assume it's a bug. Dear God, I hope it's a bug. But Taff can't place tripwires in the player house or the warehouse. This really limits your potential as Taff, since much of the map is too open to place tripwires in. 2nd, this looping spot. Yeah, I can tell this will be hell on earth for any Jason player. Or anyone fighting Chance. Seriously, that hit me? And 3rd, I fear this map will be like a second Planet Voss. As in, this map is flatter than Indiana, which makes me fear that 1X is going to be dominant on Builder Brothers. For reference, you can only play Noli in the PTB, no other killers, no skins. So we have no idea how 1X will actually play on this map until it releases fully. While the map is very open in a lot of areas, I feel like 1X can and will absolutely destroy on this map due to lack of elevation. But that's not something we can confirm until the map is in the proper game anyway. Moving on. Tempest. Noli's domain. No relation to gas harpoon in any way. This map, I believe, is actually based on the Noli myth, but I can't confirm since I haven't read up on my Noli lore. It is in the killer intro though, so probably related. Immediately, this map is a super dark and super purple wasteland, and I fucking love it. The giant vortex in the sky and the occasional lightning strikes make it even cooler. It really makes you feel like you're in his domain, his home turf. The giant mausoleum in the back of the map is awesome, and this is the only indoor part of the map. Even the trees are good, which is a massive achievement. Goddamn planet boss. Tempest feels just empty enough to fit that wasteland vibe, while still having enough structures and walls to maintain balanced gameplay. Speaking of gameplay, it plays really well as both Noli and Survivor. This map has a ton of elevation changes, mostly small hills and ledges, but enough to probably make a 1x have an aneurysm. This map is split into two major chunks by purple poison rivers. The outer chunk of the river is the larger section of the map. It's pretty open with some ruins and broken pillars scattered about for looping. It also has the most height variation, being on basically a constant slope upwards from the mausoleum, with additional raised areas in several spots. The inner chunk of the river is a lot smaller, but has a lot more close quarters. It features a ton more walls and ruined structures, like the staircase in the back corner. Ideal for looping and probably a John Doe's paradise. There's also the mausoleum, which is good. It's by far the flattest area of the map, but it's also where the killer spawns. Odds are you won't be staying in there for particularly long anyways, unless you're doing the gen. Overall, great map, definitely my preferred of the two we got to play. And now I've talked about maps, it's time to move on to the main event.
New loading screens, woo! They got lore in them, yeah!
Okay, while I am hyped about the new loading screens, we all know the biggest part of this beta test is Noli himself. To summarize him in one sentence, fun as hell to play as and go against. So Noli's kit has a lot of fun moves in it. Noli's entire kit is kind of based on catching survivors off guard. His M1, while being slow, deals big damage. Void Rush lets you charge at people super fast, and because you can turn with it, you can start rushing out of sight and then jump scare a survivor. It's also super satisfying to land, especially if you get a big chain going. I suck ass at Forsaken, so no clips. Teleporting across the map with Observant is fun and is ideal for catching a survivor with their pants down. His hallucinations are very similar to the idea for taking a survivor's attention away from you until the last moment. And Nova is great fun, it's a big projectile that explodes. I couldn't love it. Though, it does kill a part of my soul every time a Noli wastes a Nova by throwing it into the floor. It does not explode when hitting the floor. I can't believe you losers don't have basic enough problem-solving skills to figure that out. Also, an amazing detail I love is that if you use the emo button as Noli, you can use voice lines on demand. It's such a small but amazing detail and I love it so much. His chase theme is also great. I love how heavy it is. Personally, I think Noli is balanced. Or is he? In my experience playing and going against Noli, he felt just a little weak. He wasn't like Jason levels, but he didn't have the same power that Cool Kid, John, or 1X have. While I'm sure some of it was a skill issue, there was definitely some weakness in his kit. M1 is perfectly fine, even if just a little hard to hit due to the long as hell startup. Void Rush I think is fine, I just had a major skill issue. The turning was a bit too loose to hit people effectively, but Kaiser seemed to have already changed Noli for the testers to give him stronger turning control in the beginning of his dash. Observant, I think, is perfectly fine too. It's a teleport to any generator, it's telegraphed very well to balance that insane mobility. No complaints. The two main aspects of Noli that I think need changes are Nova and his hallucinations. Now, I'm no expert on game balance, but I'll try to suggest changes that aren't complete shit. First, Nova. I think Nova is just a worse corrupt nature in the current PTB state. Sure, it can explode, but it's still so easy to react to and avoid before it hits you. And even if it does hit you, the pull isn't particularly effective at slowing down a survivor. To differentiate Nova and corrupt nature, I believe Nova should focus more on the damage aspect than the utility aspect corrupt nature does. I think Nova should get a damage buff depending on how hard the shot is. Basically, I think a wall detonation should still deal 15 damage, but a manual detonation should deal 20 since it's harder to hit. Even further, I think a direct hit should deal 25 damage with half or even full explosive radius. This damage increase would reward you for taking higher risks with Noli and for having good prediction skills. Additionally, it would make Guest a less one-sided matchup. You see, all of Noli's moves are very reactable, which means that Guest can block with relative ease unless the Noli baits him. This would give Noli stronger options to punish a missed block and for a Guest trying to body block another survivor. Second, hallucinations. I think they're good in their current state, but there's one change I'd like to see. I think whenever a survivor gains a stack of hallucination, it should ping their location to Noli. This ping would be different depending on the level of hallucination said survivor has. Maybe it changes color, or it gets louder, or has a different effect. In any case, hallucination already reveals auras, so this wouldn't be particularly unbalanced. All it would do is inform the Noli immediately about what survivors may be vulnerable. Additionally, I think it should ping every time a fake Noli hits a survivor. Currently, I don't believe Noli can see his fakers, so this would inform a Noli that a survivor is currently fighting their inner demons, which means they're perfect for being snuck upon, which is where Noli is strongest. Outside those two things, I think Noli is great. As for smaller aspects of the PTB, the loading screens are good. There's some good lore ones and some very funny ones. I very much like the TAF one where he's lying on a beach chair with a whole field of traps. I also like the new 007 and 7 render. So that's my first impressions on the Noli PTB. Overall, it's pretty good, especially for the first one the Forsaken team has done. I would like to see a few Survivor changes, but the fact we even get to play Noli pre-release is already more than enough to call the PTB good. I've been Cherry Juice. Have a good rest of your week. Toodles. Hey, thanks for watching. This is my first time doing a kind of scripted video essay like this. I hope it was good. I got an SFM project in the works. It's an actual full sketch now. I may or may not make a video when Noli fully releases. It depends on how I feel.